Hello, we are CHS Alternates. I'm Kaylee and I'm a freshman in high school.
I'm Luke, I'm a sophomore.
I'm Abigail and I'm a freshman.
I'm Tyler, I'm also a freshman.
And I'm Olivia, and I'm also a freshman.
Nope. And that's Allie, she's our alternate,
Oh, hi.
and she's a junior. So there's been a lot of confusion with her name in the competition. And we kind of came up with this name because at first at regionals, we were the 6 alternates for the 2 other teams that Caro had. And we actually tested high enough to become our own team. We actually beat one of the other teams and got 2nd place. But that was kind of fun, and we decided to keep the alternate because it was just kind of how the rest of the club saw us and how we kind of like saw ourselves in our hearts. But like we're still the alternates, and we just thought it would be kind of fun to keep the name. And it was also fun because it was like it's all of our first year.
So a big issue we've noticed that is kind of like iffy is that a lot of students nowadays spend most of their days inside and not outside because with school and then after school activities they don't have a lot of time to be outside. So, and we noticed that this was obviously very present in our own school, Caro High School. So we did a short survey and we found out that like 97%, so almost 100% of students said they would like to be outside more during the day, but then we also found out that only 35% of these students were outside for 2 to 4 hours a day. So we decided to base our public outreach project around this issue and decided that we need to bring more outside time into our school day.
So the survey that we did was with the students, and we did it at our lunches. So we have 2 lunches at Caro. So we split up and we surveyed roughly 100 students, but we only got about 86 of the surveys back. So we took those 86 surveys and broke them down into the percentages, and it came out that exactly 96% of students wanted to be outside more, and they don't get the chance to be outside during school at all. So we're cooped up in a building all day. And a lot of students don't like that, and one of the big reasons that we actually look to do this outreach project is because recently at our school, the administration decided to do an incentive for our SAT and PSAT scores, that if we scored high enough, we'd get to go outside during lunch on Fridays in 3rd trimesters, which is about 5 weeks long. And so we went to the administration and we asked if we could build this outside area for the students.
So this is our total cost for our first year that we're going to need. Our projected total cost is between $1,000 and $1,500 for our first year because this is a 2-year project for us because it's so big and it's important at our school. We're going to have, the main cost is coming from our picnic tables for the students to eat outside, and that's going to be between $800 to $1,000. The paint is going to be between $100 and $150. The mulch, $150 to $200, and our flowers will be between $50 to $80.
And for the overall project, so first we figured out what our problem was, and then we also did our survey. And then when we talked to the administration and asked them where they were currently thinking about putting it, as you can see that little red square. So if you look to the left, that is our current cafeteria. So it'd be kind of easier because you can still keep an eye on the kids because you can still see them out the window if you looked. So that little area right there is where we're going to set up our potential outdoor area. Next slide. And so after we figured all these things out, we knew we needed to make a sketch because we just found out the area that we get to use, thankfully, to help our students. And we decided that we wanted to use 2 varieties of picnic tables just to kind of mix it up a little bit so it's not all the same thing over and over, like in the lunchroom, how we have some circle tables and some long ones. So we wanted to kind of take that outside almost. And our plan for that is these picnic tables are actually going to hopefully be made out of recycled wood to help with the environment and just kind of give back and make sure that we're doing it correctly. And then we also would like to have some flowers out there just to kind of dress it up a little bit. And we're talking to our current Caro Community Gardens Club about that, of what flowers we should use. because we want to get them involved. So it's not just us, so we can like kind of reach out and make it more community. And so when we use the recycled wood, we have the flowers, and then to make it look very neat and be easy to keep up all year round, because if it's not us and if other staff members have to do it, we want it to be easy for them, so we're going to put mulch down under the flowers. And on the picnic tables, like I said, with these flowers, to reach out even more, we're going to ask a few of our fellow students that are maybe in art class to hopefully paint some of the flowers we choose on the tables and put a little description of them so they can learn about it too. So they can learn about their environment while they're out there enjoying their lunch. Next slide. So like I said, we're reaching out to our community, the Caro Garden Club, and we're waiting for our feedback on the best flowers. We have kind of a wide variety. We know that we want them to be year-round, so we want them to be, so they come back every year, so they're easy for them to maintain and take care of. And we are talking to them so we know which best ones for it, because we know our surroundings, but they know it better. They have more knowledge in this area, and we know it would be better if they chose the flowers. And then we also were able to reach out to some of our community businesses. Media Lodge, thankfully, started donations at $500 for our first year. So,
Next slide. And for the next steps, because this is a 2-year project, so we'll be back here next year presenting kind of our finalized project. And so we have to clean up the area first, so we're gonna rake it and clean it up, and that's gonna be around August before the school year starts. Because when the school year starts, we all become kind of busy with different activities we're in. And then we have to set future dates of when the picnic tables are gonna be finished being built, when we're gonna wanna get in there and plant all the flowers and get the mulch down. And one thing is that we also have to communicate with our wood shop at school, because we're hoping they'll build the picnic tables. So that was like one thing that we wanted to reach out, even more students could help with this project. And a lot of students have came up to us and said, oh, I'd like to volunteer, I'm in NHS, I'd love to help with this, it'd be fun, it's just not some boring hours that we have to do. Next slide.
So finalizing our whole project once again, the issue that we're trying to reach is our students. Since we're only inside for about 7 hours a day, we want to bring outside to like inside of our school basically. And then what our solution was to make an outside sitting area for all of us. So also it wasn't just students, teachers could also go out there and teach their classes, like science classes like biology and stuff. They can use the flowers that we paint on there to use as references and stuff. And also just for like health in general, to like stay with your minus category and everything. And then going into, this is a 2-year project, so we will be coming back and making more additions as well. And then we also wanted to use more stuff from our community instead of having just take. We want to give back. So like we said, recycled wood, having a whole bunch of flowers to help us with issues all around. And then the final cost will be for this year, $1,000 to $1,500. But usually for a second year, we probably won't go very much higher, since we will only be making small additions to this, nothing bigger. And then we just want to have a positive impact for our students and our community altogether. So it isn't just us that's benefiting, it's everyone that's benefiting. Thank
So
you.
we'd love to hear any questions you guys have now.
I want to say one thing before I forget this. Do you guys have a Home Depot somewhere around you guys?
Yeah, we have one
About
that's
45 minutes.
Okay, check with them, because they do school project grants that you might be able to get some of your checks from, your recycled material wood from. They support small community, or small school outside projects and stuff too, so
One thing
maybe
that
something for next year as well.
One thing that we actually didn't put on the slide, because it's more next year, is we're gonna work on a grant through Tuscola County that's due in October, but we're just gonna include that kind of in next year, because that's more next year's project to
Sure,
start
sure.
applying and things.
That's great that you're thinking of it. Who all did you have to talk to get approval for having
We
it out
had
there?
to talk to our local administration, so the superintendent, the principal, but they were super on board with the whole thing. It was a very informal meeting. We just went up to them, asked them if we can incorporate this into what they were already planning on doing, and they loved us and told it to run off. So that's what we did.
And we're planning to, I think, present to the school board sometime soon to see if they'll donate and kind of give back even more for this.
Excellent. How many picnic tables are you looking to build and things like that?
About 7 to 8 roughly, because like we were thinking that most of the lunch would be out there, not like a lot, but a good amount, and we're thinking, we want to make the tables to be able to sit like 10 to 12 like kids, so like fit a fair amount of kids out there. From the picture that we showed, it doesn't look like that big of an area. That's what we thought when we saw it, but then like, when you actually see it, it's like really big. It looks a lot bigger than we thought it would.
And does the cafeteria open out onto that? Is it easy for students to go in and out of the
Yeah.
cafeteria?
It's
So
big.
Allie, could you actually maybe go back to that picture? One more.
So the cafeteria is like up in there, right
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the really long part.
there. Yeah.
So these are all windows that line the cafeteria, and then there's a door just right there, so
Oh, okay,
we just have to walk around to get to it.
Yeah.
okay, good.
How many kids go to your school? This high school, right?
Roughly 400 to 450,
Okay.
but when we talked to the administration, because of the PSAT and SAT testing, they said that only around 75, like 50 to 75 kids will be out there during lunch, and not all kids, we have 2 different lunches, and then we also have like a tech lunch for kids that go to the tech center. So the lunches are spread out, so we don't need
Okay,
them.
But we're
And-
also hoping to incorporate this into every day, so like outside you can use it in the beginning of school and for other things, so it isn't just glued to those people that make it.
And one thing that we kind of didn't talk about this year, but next year, is we're gonna add like a seating area, just not picnic tables.
And also it's gonna be so the classrooms can go out there, so the picnic tables work really well. You can take your books out, set them there. And if you wanna study the flowers or learn about different things just outside, it's a perfect area to set up.
When you're working with your garden club, a suggestion that I have is to discuss native plants.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
yeah,
what she said.
this is-
She said that she has a huge book of native plants and they're super like understanding about the whole thing and they're willing to come and help us with everything. Hopefully in the next 2 weeks we can set up like a couple meeting dates to come in so they can be able to see the area and think what's their best opinion.
Very cool. What's your favorite part so far?
It's definitely been like talking to everyone and seeing their reactions of how
How
like
surprised they are.
Yeah,
how
everyone's,
much
like,
they're like
really
excited for
supportive.
this.
Yeah,
It
there's
just
nothing
makes
like
like
this at our
Yeah.
school right now. It's also really cool to have a big impact, because this is actually kind of big at our school. We don't have anything like a seating area for our students. So to be able to do this is actually pretty cool, because I think a lot of students are excited about it. I think it's gonna be a good opportunity for our school.
And when we like passed out the surveys, everyone's like, what's this for? And we explained it to them, and then they were so urgent to start on the survey.
Yeah.
Because one of the questions we put is, what would you like to see out there?
So
So
many
neat.
swings.
So that people
many
wanted to see
swings.
swings, picnic
Like the
tables.
little like love seat swings, and I was
Yeah.
like, maybe in next year?
Picnic tables,
It's
everyone
like
wrote,
hopefully.
everyone wrote different types of flowers they wanted to see out there. So all the
Yeah.
students were so excited, and a lot of them wanted to come and volunteer. So it's just,
Yeah.
I think the best thing is having an impact on the school.
Yeah.
Great, good project.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah,
Thank
very
you.
good job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much. Good luck with it.